And there is Mr. Chuck Mangione making his first visit to Midday. It's great to have you with us. And also joining us in this segment is Gary Rivers, who is the executive director of the Dave Winfield Foundation. And Chuck Mangione is actually in town because he's got the concerts on the 26th and 27th that are going to benefit the Dave Winfield Foundation.
That's correct. We're doing 4 performances at the Promenade Theater on Monday and Tuesday at 8 and 11:30. I've got a 30-piece orchestra in a place that only holds 400 people, so everybody's going to get a good
I think you're going to rock a little bit there,
yeah,
right?
we're going to do it. And the proceeds go to this wonderful thing that Dave Winfield has happened. In fact, we just spent the morning out at a school in the Bronx where Dave showed this film that he's put together, and Bobby Humphrey, a very fine flautist, was there, and I was there and got to talk to the kids. And
did you play this morning?
Yeah, I played the Battle Hymn of the Republic.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's great. Well, you've had a fair amount, you've done a fair amount of teaching. You've had, I think, a very interesting career.
I studied at the Eastman School of Music and had a Bachelor of Music degree with a major in music education. Taught at the parochial grammar school level for a while, then went back to the Eastman School and tried to get a jazz program happening there. And last year they even gave me an honorary doctorate award. And
so it's Dr. Chuck.
Dr. Chuck, yeah.
That's cool. I like that. I mean, if we go back in the 60s, you had a chair with Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. Who were some of the other hornmen who sat in that chair before you?
Oh, boy. You started out with Clifford Brown and talk about Kenny Dorham and Bill Hardman and Lee Morgan and Freddie Hubbard and Wynton Marsalis. Been there since I've been there.
And then you evolved into doing your great conceptual albums and concert work and composing and teaching. It's been
we've been having a good time there.
And then you evolved into doing your great conceptual albums and concert work and composing and teaching. We've been
having a good time. I wanted to be a ball player, but when I was a junior in high school and weighed 95 pounds, I figured there was no threat to Dave Winfield anymore, so I kept honking to say I'm glad I did, because honkers live longer than baseball players.
Maybe. both your brother played instruments in an early time. There was a grocer up there, in Rochester.
That's right, upstate New York.
Rochester, but no music in the family. But he wanted his sons to be.
He always said he played the cash register. You know,
good.
He's still our biggest fan. Actually, he's 75 years old, and he travels with me when we tour, and he sells the records and the T-shirts and lobby. He'll be at the Promenade Theater. In fact, all the proceeds from that will go to the Winfield Foundation as well.
He's proud of you, and you're proud of him. How did you two, Gary? How did you get involved with Chuck in the Dave Winfield Foundation?
We did a concert in December 3rd. Where Chuck wanted to participate but could not. We did a home run for kids for the foundation. And Chuck volunteered. He said, I'd like to help you, Dave. And he came and offered his services and decided to do 4 concerts for us.
You know, the other thing about doing a benefit like we're doing, in fact, I was listening to Harry Belafonte talk about the Hands Across America. Almost as significant as trying to raise money is to make people aware of what's really happening. I mean, to think that Dave Winfield has got a game tonight and is trying to get his body back in shape after a few fantastic moves on Sunday. Was up this morning, was out there talking and dealing with young people to try to give them knowledge and information about something that affects their lives a whole lot. So I think as much as we can, we'd love to raise a lot of money, but we're talking about 1,600 seats. And but the most important thing is to make the public aware of what's involved here and the seriousness of the cause. And Dave and I have been friends for about 4 years, and we've been trying to pull something off, and this is going to work out just fine.
Well, it would seem to me, if we're going to really win in the war against drugs in our society, the only place to really do it, realistically, is in education of people to prevent them from getting started in the first place, because in terms of stopping this stuff from coming into the country, it's just not happening. I mean, it seems that would be a naive approach.
That was our philosophy. In fact, we are doing 15 schools between now and June 6th. Tomorrow we'll be down on Stanton Street. And one of the things that David has always realized is education is the answer to a lot of our problems. And kids will listen to role models such as a Dave Winfield, or tomorrow we'll have Willie Randolph. And that's a very important issue, and I think a lot of very important people will get out here and start making statements that tells kids that it's okay to say no to drugs.
You know, we were down at Walt Disney World last week doing a couple of shows, and after we finished one of the programs, I was just walking around the World Showcase, and there in the United States Pavilion, they have wonderful quotations from some of the great Americans, and the quotation from Walt Disney is exactly in line with what you're saying. Walt Disney said something to the effect, the greatest natural resource that we have in this country is the minds of our children. Period. There's no question about that. And those little minds, can't be educated and can't absorb all that it takes to grow up to be an adult if they're doing drugs. I mean, it's really a simple equation, isn't it?
And in the assemblies, it's exciting to see how the kids respond to a Dave Winfield or Chuck Mangione. The film that we produced was produced in cooperation with the Drug Enforcement Administration and the Board of Education here. So you can see the kids just want people to come in and say something to them. They want that knowledge.
Right, and they're the best kind.
I was impressed very much also with the questions that the young people asked. There was
What, for example?
Some little guys came up and said, well, if my brother or my mother and father are doing drugs, what should I do? Who should I go and tell, or where do I turn? And you can imagine a young person dealing with those kind of problems.
They're big questions, big problems. We just put your video on here.
Yeah. I like that.
I watched this whole thing this morning. It's saved tonight for me. CBS Records, all in black and white, and it's like a man and a woman getting ready for a nice evening out, and one of the experiences is going to be listening to your music because you're getting ready too. Is your father in this?
Yes, he is.
I saw you gave a hug to somebody there at the beginning.
That's Papa Mangione, yeah. I want to find out what formula he's been taking all these years, because he's 75 and out there, and he's up at 6 in the morning and squeezes fresh orange juice for everybody, and he's the last guy to go to bed at night. His philosophy is never go to bed the same day you wake up. That means he's never been to bed in his life.
That's great. I like that, Chuck. Chuck, you're sitting here with your instrument, with the flugelhorn. Tell us a little bit about this instrument. Most people, they would say, oh, it's a trumpet. It's a big trumpet.
Most people see me and they say, you're playing a trumpet. This is a flugelhorn. It kind of looks like a trumpet that's in the 6th month of pregnancy. You know, all the parts are kind of expanded.
Why do you favor this instrument over a trumpet or a cornet?
Well, I fell in love with it the first time I played. It's kind of like a ball player finds the right glove, or the sound. It has a darker, more mellow sound. It's not known for its power or brilliance like the trumpet, and you certainly don't use it in all musical situations. But when I became a musical dictator and formed my own group,
this was what you're going to play. I read once
that
you say you think of your music in a visual sense. You think of your music as being... Could we just try to experiment for 30 seconds?
Yeah.
Tell us to close our eyes, set a scene, and play us into that scene.
Well, just imagine that we're all sitting here with all those fine ladies who just came out here in all those suits writing a song. Feels so good, you know.
I was ready to go to the beach. I have to make the concert. What is it? Monday and Tuesday nights, right?
Tuesday, 8 and 11:30 shows each night.
At the Promenade Theater.
30-piece orchestra and a great cause that Dave Winfield.
It's got to sound really good. Chuck, it's great to meet you. I've got some albums in the closet, and it's nice to shake the hand of the man who's been playing the instruments all these years.
Thank you.
And thank you for, again, anything we can do to support the cause of the Dave Winfield Foundation. We're happy to do it on midday. If people are interested in going, what should they do? Go to the Promenade Theater, call the Promenade?
Tickets are available at the Promenade or through Ticket Outlet, I believe is the other place.
And that's this Monday and
Memorial
Tuesday.
Day and the day after.